All right, everybody, welcome to Selling Weekly Lottos, weeks 49 and 50. These last 2 weeks, I made $3,028. All right, let's just jump right into it with the first trade. Boom! Okay, this one was Circle. All right, this was a covered strangle. So as you can see from the chart, the two yellow lines, those are the trajectories. So this isn't technical analysis. These are just the way I draw the lines is to show like an approximate visual of what the stock price has to do in order for me to get it signed. So what I did here with Circle is I bought 100 shares at $116 and I sold a 140 call and I also sold a 100 put. What that means is it either has to go to 140 and I would have to sell my shares for 140 each, or if it went to 100, I would have to buy 100 more shares for 100 each. All right. But what happened was after earnings, it didn't really go anywhere and actually went up just slightly. So I was able to take profits on all three legs. I was able to sell the shares for a profit. I was able to buy the covered call back for a profit. And I was able to buy the cash secured puts back for a profit. So all three, almost $300 there. All right. And then after that, I went right into MU. As you probably from seeing my last few videos, I've really been into MU lately, Micron. I sold a 720 put for about $1,800. And this one, as you can see from the chart, actually dipped right after I sold it. So it was kind of bad timing, but it didn't go below my break even of around 703. So I was pretty comfortable holding. And it eventually recovered back to around the price that I sold it, the share price, and I was able to take the profits by buying the cash secured put back for around $200, $300, and I made $1,500 from that. All right, and then the next week, all right, I did the MU cash secured puts again, and these one I did the 740 puts. And as you can see from the chart, actually, that was the worst timing ever. Right after I sold it, the next day it started crashing big. At one point, it was at like $650, while my break even is $715. So that would have been a $6,500 loss if it stayed at that price. I was actually more upset about having to do a loss post than the actual losses themselves. But it did eventually recover. It went back up above that yellow trajectory line. And the minute the market opened, I took my profits. They still gifted me a $1,000 gain for making that terrible decision. And yeah, I was just like, hey, this thing gave me a chance to get out. So I got out and they gave me $1,000 for that. All right. And then the last one was a NVIDIA 210 put. I was also playing earnings for that one. All right. Sold that for around $230, $240. And right after earnings, again, it didn't dip. All right. And I was able to buy those contracts back for like $20, giving me about a 97% return on that one. All right. So let's go ahead and check out the metrics real quick. Bazam! All right, so as you can see, I just passed the $60,000 income on week 50, about 60,200 something. All right, so based on the amount that I've been risking every week, which is about $95,000, that gives me about a 64% yield. All right, 64% based on how much I've been using every week, but because I have $250,000 available, if you take that income and divide it by the amount I have available to use, that brings it to about a 24% yield, all right, which is a more realistic amount. The thing is, the most challenging part about this that I've found is that it takes some finesse to not use all your cash. You have to have some cash on the side so that if the current trades go against you, you can continue to play. and not get locked out. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to keep this one short this week. In a couple weeks, we will have the 1 year update. And oh, one thing I want to say is I did get pretty greedy with the MU 740 puts in week 50. I got greedy green eyes. I saw the 700 puts. They were still giving about 2.5% yield, about $1,700 if I wanted to sell the 700 puts. But I got greedy and I wanted the over 3% for the 740 puts. So I learned my lesson there. Just go further out of the money, and that's really what Lottos are, right? So definitely gonna go further out of the money for MU after almost getting destroyed, almost getting blasted. All right, well, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the 1 year. All right, peace.